Time for an update. The shrimp tank's been up and running for around 6 weeks now, and for the most part it's been great. The shrimp population has absolutely exploded. The conditions are clearly perfect for them, they've been doing really well. Almost too well though. The same can be said for the snail population, eggs scattered everywhere throughout the tank. These guys are one of the primary food sources for my musk turtle, Marie, so this is exactly what we want to see. The Hygrophila Polysperma, the main plant in the tank, known to always be a fast grower. It's taken over and needs trimming. It looks bad, but what's worse is this happens every single week. And since the tank renovation upload, I've trimmed this back around 7 times. Thankfully this did save me some money though, and I've used some of the cut-offs to seed a new plant growth in the 7-foot tank. So the problem with the shrimp population growing at the speed it is, they risk overpopulating the aquarium and causing too much competition for the snails. After all, the snails are the main point of this aquarium, so I've got to do something to control this. And I figured, what's better than a natural population control? And for that, we have fish. As mean as it may sound, hopefully they'll pick off a few of the baby shrimp. So I'll pick a species that doesn't grow too large, though have plenty of space in the aquarium, but all the while being too small to stress or pose any sort of threat to the adult shrimp. There full well is a chance they'll go for some of the baby snails, but it'll create a degree of balance, natural diet for the fish along with some other food supplements, while avoiding overpopulation and still allowing the snails to breed and grow. Bladder snails lay eggs constantly, with each jelly pack holding around 10 to 40 eggs. With each adult snail laying this multiple times a week, growing in numbers and stealthily hiding under leaves, growing fast and having a tough outer shell to contend with, I imagine the shrimp will be a much more likely target for the fish. So the chosen fish are Transvestite dwarf cichlids, a very small species maxing out around 3 cm. They can be known to be territorial when breeding, but if they cause any issues, I'll simply move them to the larger tank where they'll have all the space they could ever need. A male-female pair is best, but these guys are still young, so I'll have to wait and see if we've made the right selection. The second fish are golden pencilfish, another smaller species of fish which can once again be moved to the larger tank if things don't work out. They're considered a peaceful fish that shouldn't cause any problems, and they're all quite young at the minute, so they may not be displaying their full coloration and should brighten up much more in the coming months. But as it goes, they should do a great job help keeping the shrimp population in check without disturbing the snails too much. Aquariums like this may well be one of my favourite types to see and build. Within the tank there's shrimp and snails taking care of the algae, detritus and other uneaten food. The fish consume the shrimp, snails and other food I give them, and all 3 release ammonia through their faeces. The ammonia is then consumed by good bacteria inside the filter, breaking it down into nitrites, and then again into nitrates. This is known as the ammonia cycle, and all 3 stages are highly toxic depending on the concentration in the water. The final stage of the cycle, the nitrate, is constantly used by the plants as food to grow. But not all of it, and this is why we do our weekly water changes to remove any excess before the water becomes toxic to the fish. But we're not finished there. Small organisms known as Copiopods always find their way in, whether eggs ride in on a plant, or through the water introduced to the aquarium. Maybe even in the substrate. The eggs can remain completely dry for a period of time, before being triggered by water initiating the development and hatching process. These small creatures, although currently hard to see on film, feed on organic matter and act as natural filters, catching detritus in the water column. They don't harm any of the living creatures whatsoever, and actually act as a brilliant food source for the fish. So much so that some species are commonly fed in the form of frozen cubes to be defrosted. I want to update the tank in the future to have a more natural look, more plant species, maybe less common ones, to give a larger variation. Whatever purpose this aquarium ends up serving in the future, I'm happy with it and can watch it for hours. It's providing a great food and enrichment source to contribute a natural life to another pet. However dark it may seem, it's the natural cycle providing an incredible life up until feeding. And it also serves the channel the perfect opportunity to demonstrate the natural life cycle around us occurring every day, in every pond, stream, lake, river and other water features. Although the organisms vary in different shapes, sizes, species, locales and environments, we may not always be able to see what's underneath the surface, especially close up when we don't have a camera to hand. But just know that it is there, playing a vital role in the ecosystem. The whole ladder of life, creating a natural cycle to build that sustainable environment.